I'd like to read out some more reviews from DWRG on the Jon Pertwee portrayal of the Third Doctor. Cody Salas, on the 27th of the 6th, 97, claims one of the best actors to play the Doctor. I must agree with John Riordan on Jon Pertwee. When I first started watching Doctor Who, I saw Tom Baker. I did like his style and humour, however he constantly used the jelly babies to get out of trouble. John, on the other hand, knew when he could not back his way out of trouble and tried to use common sense to throw his enemies off. He was always using gadgets, and every so often he would invent something new to use against the Master, the Daleks, and any other foe he would face. One instance I can remember was in his last adventure, Planet of the Spiders. After Sarah was captured by the spiders, the people of Metabellus 3 helped the Doctor retrieve his machine that would help stop the spiders using their staves to hurt or kill people. One of the sons of Sabor asked the Doctor, who was eating to regain his strength, "Are you going to help us or just sit there eating broth?" The Doctor replied, "I wanted to see what I was facing at first. Now I know what I am up against." Jon Pertwee will go down in history as one of the best to ever play the Doctor. I will miss him, but I have a few of his adventures to remember him by. And then we've got If Only They Had Dropped the James Bond Shtick by Dennis McDermott, 10th of the 11th, 97. Choosing a favourite Doctor is a bit like choosing a flavour of ice cream at Baskin Robbins, except for a chunky flavour or two. Sorry, Colin, you can never really be sure you've made the right choice. Such as it is with Doctor Who, only one Doctor has not been reviewed yet in this page, William Hartnell. Even the only one that has received any heavy criticism, Colin Baker, has his defenders, which is why I want to make this clear. I like the Third Doctor. I like him a lot. Handsome, debonair, witty. He has the essence of a gentleman, not just a Victorian gentleman, but a gentleman for any age or situation. He is in many ways the most likeable and certainly the most approachable of all the Doctors. I just wish they hadn't put that James Bond element to his character. Besides Pertwee's being a little too old to successfully pull it off, it tended to put him in situations that ended up being a drag on the story. As soon as I see Pertwee washing into Bessie, or a helicopter, or a jet ski, or a hovercraft, or a motorcycle, I either hit the fast forward button or saunter off to the kitchen to make a sandwich, as I know nothing of significance will happen for at least 5 to 10 minutes while a tensionless chase unfolds. Compare any chase of Pertwee in it to any chase scene in any James Bond movie, and you'll see what I mean. Even the Venusian Aikido got a little ridiculous at times. Ironically, what Pertwee excelled at wasn't action, it was relationships. Whether his companions or his enemies, e.g. the Master, he established a rapport that no other Doctor could match. He might get distracted, he might on occasion be thoughtless, but he was never mean or rude. He's the type of person I hope my daughter brings home someday. Okay. Okay. A Hero in Life and Fiction by James Peterson, 13th of the 6th, 98. Jon Pertwee is my favourite of the Doctors. He was the first I saw when Channel 17 out of Philadelphia ran Season 7 in 1974. Doctor number 3 I feel is the best because he embodied many things I like. Interesting how we have an admitted American perspective here. Those are kind of fascinating to me. There's an interesting documentary you can watch. I believe PBS put it together, aired in the 80s, about American fan base of Doctor Who. If you just Google that on YouTube, I'm sure it'll come up. It's got a number of views on it already. Because as far as I know, these are all British fans that I'm reading, maybe some Australian as well, but on this DWRG website, most Doctor Who discourse online appears to be based out of the UK. Certainly where the classic series is concerned, I know the new show has picked up a lot of new fans who aren't familiar with the old show, which is a prerogative, of course. Anyway, Doctor number 3 I feel is the best because he embodied many things I like. He was a warrior for truth and justice in words and deeds. He was always an impeccable gentleman of the old and new school who charmed nearly everyone. He always kept his manners even against his enemies and took them on in a gentlemanly fashion. As a fencer, his fight with the Master is of special significance to me. Sea devils, yes. Although he tended to jump to conclusions, he always got it right in the end. He was also a bit of a sentimentalist of the Doctors Who. Pertwee was most like a mentor to his companions and allies. My choice of Doctor 3 is coloured by the fact that he was my first, and the fact that I greatly admired Jon Pertwee. Since I first read Moon Boots in Dinner Suits 15 years ago, I have come to regard him as a personal hero. One day I too shall sport the Inverness coat. I only met him once, July 19th, 1983. After I received his autograph, I asked him, "Tell me, should I reverse the polarity of the neutron flow?" He smiled warmly and replied, "Oh, that horrible line. I never could remember it." He went on to tell me that he actually created a little song to help him remember the line. Unfortunately, he once actually sang it on camera and thus gave the cast and crew a hearty laugh. I shall always remember him fondly, and his death in 1996 came as a truly personal blow. And we'll close it here. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it very immensely.